All right. Hopefully everybody can hear me. We are live. Um, I was originally not going to do a video, but I decided to go ahead and do one before I make a trip for the week, just to talk about the show this last weekend, and then some changes that are happening. Um, let's see. Someone just that doesn't pay attention to my page. Later. Um, okay. All right. So last week it was Frank Beard. This week it's Dolly Parton. The previous week, I mean, I'm not going to start every show here with the current celebrity death of the week, but I mean, that is what is going on today. But anyway, I just wanted to do this video, just to kind of recap what happened this last weekend, and then going forward, some updates on some shows, because we were really over. Um, I had a lot of a huge waiting list for the show for Melbourne this last weekend. And I want to thank everybody for coming out. Vendors, people. We had a great event. The hotel, the hotel was great. The staff there was great. Just amazing. Really, really good hotel staff, and the follow up. All of the room that I had was great. Um, and so everything was pretty good. I did the only thing that would have been nice is if we had it bigger. If the space was bigger, it would have been really good. So I do plan on rebooking at the Melbourne. I'll show off a little photo here. I didn't spend time. This is at the beginning of the show, like right when maybe a little bit after they opened. We opened. It says here 9:10. So just a tad bit after open, I was taking pictures for our Facebook page. These are on the Facebook page, and then you see me showing the other side of the show. Again, 9:10, right as soon as we opened. I mean, there wasn't even barely people had come in yet, um, but it was a great show. I hope everybody had a good time that was there. Um, Thanks, Mike, for coming out. Glad to have Margaret back at the show. I know some people are on a break. And Mike, where were you in Melbourne? We didn't see you, but that's all right. We'll see you soon. And Jose, hopefully you did all right, and nice seeing you again. And Brian, yeah, it looked like you had a good show over there. Let's see. Mark Moriarty said you had some cards and stuff that you sold and everything, so that's good. I'm glad you were here, made it out to Melbourne. So on Melbourne, I'm gonna I'm gonna plan on rebooking that show, that space. I just don't have a specific date yet. It won't be this year because I just we got enough shows. I think by the time I show you the schedule, and oh, okay, well, yeah, I'm not sure where you live, so um anyway, no big deal, no big deal. We were stuffed. In fact, unfortunately, I screwed up and somebody went home because they didn't have their walls, um which I haven't had that happen before. I usually just find space if I forget somebody, but what happens, and I'll show you a map here of something else, and how I make a mistake is I'm moving people around because maybe you know um, as I fill the map, I'll move people, copy and paste, and then but in this case I just made mistakes, but anyway, um, yeah, man, where you been? where you been? But hopefully you'll be at some of the future ones. We got Bradenton coming up and Tampa coming up, and we got St. Augustine coming up. That's what I'm going to talk about here next. So yeah, so Melbourne was really good. I don't think that there will be any changes for the next one there. I will say that the parking was a little confusing because there's signs out there that about paid parking, but you didn't actually have to pay. So next time, I think maybe we'll have a sign up that says, you don't need to pay. I guess for the events or something, they don't need paid parking. I don't know when they have it. I'm just saying they didn't have to pay. And then, well, we didn't really know that until we got there. So we really had no one, I didn't even notice the sign when I went there to visit. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, well, yeah, we haven't seen you in a little while, man. Well, Damien, hopefully we can see you. Hopefully we can maybe do another video on new stuff and all that. But thanks for coming out and watching. And I'm going to talk a little bit about some other shows. So if you hang out, you'll see that, or you can watch it later, I guess, on the page. But basically, I don't, other than the parking, and then us bringing like we didn't bring like there was some stuff. The trailer was kind of in a state of like not kind of like reorganizing, and I forgot part of Iron Man, so I didn't bring him in. And then some other parts didn't make the trailer. So anyway, yeah. Um, oh, awesome. Yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you here in another. It's about a month from Bradenton, and Zeta. We did have a guy come in and ask if you were there, and I said I don't know. I guess she doesn't drive, anymore. But if we do another show, you're more than welcome to try to get over there. I am gonna try to go back to Coco too, just to kind of mix it up. Hey, how's everybody doing? Okay, and all right. So I'm gonna talk about our next show. Here is on the 13th. Um, it is a pretty large space. It's 12,000 square feet. It's a beautiful location with 8-foot tables. Chairs are nice. I mean, I know that's petty to talk about chairs, but it's just a really nice venue. And I still have I don't know, maybe about I'm probably about 70% full. So I still have plenty of stuff. I don't really have walls. I might have one now. Let's see, one. Yeah, I probably have like one wall left, and maybe two, and then I still have some. I have pretty much something of everything. So if you're interested in that, hit me up or go online, and yeah. Okay, so next time, Zeta, when I put the show together, the Melbourne, I will reach out to you, so I can make sure I give you a spot there. And then, yeah, oh, great. Okay, that's great, Jose. You had a really good setup there. I really like your setup now. You've got it really down, I think. Um, and then Pat, I'm glad you did really well. You were kind of stuffed in that corner back there. You'll have more room at the next show. Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna. So that is, in about 3 weeks. So if you have been to a past Jacksonville show, you might get a message from me telling you about signing up for this one. Um, I might set up myself. If I don't fill it up with other people, I might set up myself. I don't know, but after being buried in really applications, I still have openings for this show 3 weeks out, which is kind of weird. But okay, no big deal. Um, oh yeah. Oh wow. Okay, didn't know that. That's that. Thanks, man. And I did see your short, your YouTube shorts on the page or on the show that you came to back in July. That's awesome. All right, I do want to talk a little bit about. I'm gonna talk about the schedule, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over this as I like normally do, the dates and stuff. But I'm gonna talk about this December show. So what's happening is, I don't normally do a December show. I sometimes do a holiday Star Wars. But I don't do December shows because of the reason that is because the attendance is just not good. Okay, I mean it's just not. Well, when I say not good, I mean it's not like a normal show would be in April or May or February. Okay, or even January, because people have a mindset when they come to our show. I believe the customers that are coming to our show are buying for themselves. They're not buying for their kid. They might be buying for their kid, but most of the people aren't. I think they're most of the people that are coming to our show, they're buying for their own personal collection. They're looking for some kind of nostalgia piece, or they're looking for something. I mean, maybe they buying for their kids too, but I think the main motivation is for themselves. Um, Whereas in November, late November, December, people are into buying gifts. Now, I did try to do a gift show, okay? I did try to do a gift show last year, and I just didn't have enough vendors that were interested. I mean, not to fill 15,000 square feet, okay? That's what we had at the RP funding, or at RP funding, that's what we have. And so I think I had about 25 or something, like, I kind of did it the last moment. But anyway, long story short, what I'm thinking about doing, and Mike mentioned here the Lake Square Mall. Okay, so what happened is, yeah, Jose. So just follow along with me. Follow along with me. I'm gonna show you. You see that there are November shows right now. I just have to finish the contracts. That's why it still says processing. So yesterday, um, a guy who's been a vendor. He runs various things. So a lot of people know him. Mark Draven has put together he's put together let's say an event center. Now let me back up, and I know this. I'm going to try to make this story quick, but so my goal at really is eventually to have my own building. Now I got to have my own building. When I say my own building, I'm going to lease first, even if I had the money to buy a building. I'm not doing that. So because I'm not a retail guy, I'm just not. Anyway, my point is that I have right now, I have 3 storage units of stuff, like of show stuff, things, for the show. I have other games that you don't see in my room. I have a lot of stuff. Okay. And so I'm paying right now for like 3 10 by 20s that are all full. And various items that I used for the show, or just storage. Okay. So, um, and then in the past we were doing, I don't know, about 3 years ago we were doing 4 Star Wars shows. We were doing 3 Funko shows, and then those shows were really supposed to be fillers, where I couldn't do a regular show. And so I had this idea. I wanted to get a building. I wanted to get a building where I could have about, let's say, 3 to 4 thousand square feet, where I could have half of that would be a show setup that's always there. So like 25 tables that I could just do a Hot Wheels show, or do whatever show. I mean, it didn't a beer sign show. I mean, like our friend Spuds here. But I mean, just whatever I wanted, slot cars, whatever I wanted. And that could be like, filler, whatever. It wasn't supposed to be a store. And so I started looking at that, and everything was like super, super expensive. Just to give you an idea, I think like for 3 to 4,000 square feet, it was going to be 5 to 6 grand a month, and I'm just like, I don't have. I'm gonna focus on paying that rent instead of doing shows, and I don't want to do that. So, um, okay, I did have the idea of the mall though, like because of the parking. The biggest problem with the building is actually not the money, it's actually parking. So when we have a show, and if 200, even 200 people show up, which is, I mean, 100 to 200 people showing up at one of our shows is nothing, all right, at this point. And so if 200 people showed up, we would need, I mean, like a 50 parking spaces at least. So it's a real problem. So we can't just go and get any building. So my point is I started with the mall, and I wasn't sure if it was going to work. But fast forward to now, and Mark has set up this thing at the Lake Square Mall, and it's an event center, and that's cool, Mike. That is 5 minutes from your house, and awesome, Andrew. We're looking forward to seeing you and your stuff. And I believe Kaz will be there, so if you got to pick some stuff up or drop it off, cool. All right, so yesterday I went and looked at that. I'll go ahead and I didn't really take like a like a goofy. I did not take enough photos. I just took like two pictures, and this is like the inside. He has it set up, these anyway. And then he's got some tables in there right now, and it's almost, I'd say it's about 5,500 square feet, so it's not huge. But so let me go ahead and share the map here. So I know this isn't really that big, but this is kind of how the layout is. Now you'll see some names on here. This is just my mock-up of how many tables fit in there, and it's basically 45 tables. This is my setup where you have the 6-foot table with the 4 feet behind you, and then we have 6 to 7 foot walkways. And so, if you see your name in here, like Joel's in here, because I copied and pasted the table basically. But so what I'm thinking of doing I mean, I don't need Mark calling me going, you don't have a contract. I don't need him doing that. So you'll see it says working in progress. All I've done is I went there, I looked at the space, I made a map, and he sent me paperwork. So I've talked to him about the pricing and stuff like that. So that's the only place that we're at right now. I'm gauging interest from vendors. Okay. The one problem that I see, which isn't a problem, but it is something I want to make people aware, um, is that there is a treasure mart there that's a huge down the way, well, this is a very good location actually. You go in next to PetSmart, and boom, the store is right there. So it's easy to find, easy. You don't have to wander through the mall to find it. So it'll be easy. It's not gonna be a huge show. It's gonna be 45 tables, 6 foots, um, and you know, and then I'm not gonna be taking right now. I'm not if somebody has a space down there at the Treasure Mart, I'm not gonna be taking them as a vendor. So I'm just being upfront about that. Um, so okay, so let me talk about the positives of why I'm doing it on the 12th. Okay, number one, we don't have any shows in December. Okay, so this and then you're probably wondering why did he even bother telling you that whole mall story? Well, I want to know, and I'm sorry I switched there, but I want to know if this works because I still want a building. I still want a space that I can have events whenever I want. I want to have a space that, hey, we don't have an event this week, or someone can come in on a Friday and we could have, whatever. We could do some video production there. We could have events there, but it's always set up to where we could have an event at any time, and we use the walls or the glass or whatever, the doors, to promote the show that's coming up. Um, but I want to try this, you know, because I think the mall is a potential good idea for a space. Now, whether this is the best spot or not, I don't know. I mean, anyway, I want to try it. So I feel like December is the right time to do it. Um, um, because the mall is going to be the busiest, okay? And if you add in the busyness of the holiday season at the mall, and you add in our other advertising that we normally would do for a show, um, then that's where you get a potentially a good show. Now, I wanted to do, realistically, we should be trying to do a 2 day here, like not and not necessarily all the same vendors. So we should be trying to do a 2 day because it is like right before Christmas, and we should be trying to do a full weekend here, but I'm not ready to commit to that. Uh, so that's what I'm working on right now. With that, I do have the map. And anyway, so I do want to try this if people are interested. So basically, I'm kind of gauging whether people would think this is a good idea or a bad idea. The other thing is, keep in mind, this isn't a mall show, Bill. This isn't something where we're in the hallway. Okay, we're gonna be charging to get in. Okay, to our store, and that's the thing. Like, are people gonna pay to come into our show when they're at the mall? I don't know, but that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna charge $10, and the goal is that they're not going to be able to find what we have anywhere else, or certainly not in the mall. Okay. Um, so I think I'm going to try it. If you're, I think I'm going to try it. That's just my thought right now. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Get some feedback, see what you guys think, and go from there. Hey, Tony. Hopefully, I know you have maybe a show coming up. Yeah. I brought Spuds out here because I had this blow mold here. Spuds. He doesn't have the light, unfortunately, but and then this last weekend I got this other Bud Light sign, which is cool because it's not like a reproduction. It's like 89 here inside of their book. So I don't know. I might see if my friend John will put neon around it. Um, we'll see. So I just thought I'd show off a little bit of what I got this last weekend, which is really the Spuds, and I got a Daisy Duke because I was gonna go to this Hazard thing, but I'm not doing that now. All right, and yeah, hey, oh, okay, I didn't know that. You said that's like 5 minutes from your house. Chris, cool. Yeah, hey, nice seeing you, Chris, this weekend. Small mall show, not necessarily in December. Okay, well, hey, um, my opinion is on that. I don't really want to do I don't really want to do a small show at all, to be honest with you. But if I was doing it, it would be. I'm gonna try it then because I think it's the lowest risk, and I'm just not. My goal for the next year is we're gonna probably have, I don't even know now, like we're probably gonna have around almost 30 shows this year, and I just think it's been a lot of work this year, guys. Like, I mean, I really love doing the shows, and and honestly, we probably could do another one in October, but this is just there. It's just it never, like I've got to order bags, I got to order things, and it's just as soon as I'm back from the show, I'm on to the next one. You know what I mean? And that's okay to do when it's really like the time to do it, but I'm like August. I'm probably will have one show in August next year. I just think we need a little. Not that we not from a customer perspective or not even a sales perspective. I just have to have some time, just like a vendor does, to get new stuff. I've got to regroup, and so that we have good amount of customers, and then I really have to look for new venues. Again, going back to Tallahassee, I got to find a new venue there. If we go back to Port St. Lucie, I got to find a new venue there. Not that the people there are bad, but it's just too small. Like I've got to find bigger spaces, bigger, better spaces now. Like we've grown to a point where customers expect a certain thing. I think when they come, I mean, we're charging. We're not a free show. We won't ever be a free show. Um, it's just, I really feel like after 7 years, we've figured out who our customers is. We have our own show. We're unique in for here in Florida anyway. The way that we run the show, the way that we promote the show, everything about it, I think, is different, in my opinion, than a lot of people. So, what I want to do is and I'm laughing because of Marco. No break, keep going. Okay, and I'm gonna come back to Jenny on the or Vanti here in just a moment. Yeah, but I need to find more help. Like I gotta get an assistant person next year. I've gotta get. I'm gonna be just doing more and maybe less dates, but trying to make the dates that I have bigger and better, and we'll see what happens. But um, I'm trying to refine things and expand the marketing. This next year. And stuff like that. Versus anyway, but okay. So going back to Jenny here, yeah, there's a thank you for asking on that. I've been talking for about 2 months, about a month and a half with Avanti. They have a new manager there. They might even have a new manager again. I don't know because I talked to this guy like I don't know about, I don't let's see. I messaged him about a month ago. Then he gave me this crazy new amount. I told him what I had been paying, and I said, "Look, I understand you might need to raise the price a little bit, but give me a break." So, our goal is to be back there in January. Whether that happens, I just don't know yet. The guy was supposed to follow up with me last week, and he did not. So I have to now email him again and say, "Hey, what's going on with my date?" It's a const. That's part of the work of this is the venues and staying on top of the venues. I again want to give a shout out to Melbourne, the lady at Alexis, that lady who it was at the Melbourne. She actually came to the Coco show, saw our show. She went back to the hotel, and I think she invited me directly via email, took our flyer, messaged me and said, we'd like you to come to Melbourne. We did that. All of the people at the show, I think she really talked about our show and how it runs and how many people come, because they were expecting people. They weren't messing around. They knew. And when I said to the Alexis, that's her name, my contact there, I said, "Hey, so what do you think?" She's like, "Oh, I've went to Coco. I know that you guys are bringing people." So she did ask me how many people we'd have probably, and I told her roughly the number. And so they were prepared with food. They had a restaurant that was open. Not so if you didn't want what they had, you could go to the restaurant and order. It's going to be more expensive, certainly, and they have a little bit more expanded menu. But I think they closed at 1. But they were open the whole time, even after we closed. They were open to sell drinks there. They were not messing around. So, hats off to them. They did a very good job. Um, and yeah, the Hilton in Melbourne this past was definitely a great spot. I really do think it was a good spot. The parking was free. I just wish the space was bigger. Um, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah. Thanks, Marco. Hopefully you did decent this weekend, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. All right, so I'm gonna go back to the schedule here and just so we got North Florida here in a couple weeks at the World Golf Village. And then I do have for vendors that need it. I'm working on getting an updated hotel link because it expired, but I will have that here soon. And then the Bradenton show, I do have a hotel link for that. That hotel is amazing, beautiful. It is not the cheapest, but it is really nice. So we will, and now I will want to tell you from a vendor perspective, don't sleep on signing up. If you want a space in Bradenton, you need to get with me. You need to sign up right away because I only have like 3 tables left. Okay, we are gonna have the Superman guy Jack O'Halloran there. I may still have another guest there. I need to follow up with him. Kissimmee is sold out basically. I mean, I might have a hallway space, but basically it's Kissimmee is sold out. Um, we are in the small room. I did try to move that to the bigger space, but I was contracted already for the smaller space. But basically, we are sold out. Altamont. Let me just go ahead and look at the map real quick while I'm sitting here. Um, Again, Altamont is down. We're probably down to maybe 3 or 4 tables in Altamont on October 4th. October 11th, I'm going to try to post that up. We would have maybe a couple tables in the secondary room, but it's mostly sold out, which is why it's not really listed on there. But I do need to get it going on the advertising. Um, Tampa show, the walls are starting to look a little rough as far as if you want a wall. I mean, and then the corners are pretty much gone. I think I might have one end cap left with 2 corners. And then these 3 shows here I'm working on. I'm finalizing the contracts. Um, the RP funding one is pretty much a done deal. For Lauderdale, I got to work with the pricing on this because of the way that they want to charge still for like people to get in. They want to charge me like a fee, and I'm not really. I don't know. I'm not. I can't get rid of that. I basically told them if they can't match my Coral Springs cost, then I'm not interested. Like, if we went around and around earlier this year, they hit me back up, and so I put it on here. And then this show, I've just got to work out some details. I got to go over the contract with Mark, and then I think I'm gonna go ahead and move forward on this. And then we are already taking applications for Coral Springs in January. So that's the scoop. But again, I do have tables in the World Golf Village, and I am down to the wire and Bradenton. So if you didn't sign up yet, please do. All right, now I am going to be heading up north, uh, probably for about the next week. Hopefully tomorrow. I've got some other work here that I need to do for the shows. But if you email me or whatever, and I might do a video from the road. I'm going to be stopping to visit some vendor friends that don't live here now, and then I'm also going to be looking at other venues. I think I'm going to try, maybe I might try to stop either on the way there or on the way back in Tallahassee to look at something. Um, and Yeah, so I mean, it's not just only hanging out, but yeah, I do want to go up north and for the next week, and then I'll be back for probably the Tampa Comic Con. I'm hoping to get autograph from. I've got some stuff from Anthony Michael Hall still, so that I don't remember who else is at Tampa Bay Comic Con, but anyway, but I may or may not be back for that, but I will be posting. So I don't plan on having a 7:30 video next week. I mean, it's possible because I plan to be at my friend's house up north. So maybe I'll do a video from my laptop, and give you guys an update on all of the tables and all of the shows, and then maybe some pictures of some stuff that I looked at. But right now, I don't plan on doing a video next week, but it's still possible. So, but I wanted to share all of this stuff with the mall. Um, um, no, nope, it's in the same property. Actually, you know what? You made a good point here. I should probably point that out. Let me look that up real quick, and let's see, and then I'll share that. So let me before I let you guys go, and let's see. I'm just looking for add to stage. Let me just go ahead and share that. Share screen. All right. So the show is at this hotel here. Beautiful location. This is like a video. This is the room. If you look it up, World Golf Village, Renaissance St. Augustine Resort. And so it's right off of 95 here. And so it's got plenty of free parking. Vendor load in is in the back here, and then the actual show will be on this side of the space this time. So it'll be on the other side, but it's the same same hotel that we had in April, and then we did do a show last April there. It's just a different hotel than we normally do in Jacksonville. So I got to find a bigger space in Jacksonville. And again, this is why, either I got to get somebody to do some of this research, or I got to do it myself, and that means I can't be working the show every minute. I mean, I get people literally like that didn't go to the show, they don't watch these videos or whatever, and they're just hit me up on Monday morning at 7:30 after I was at a show. I didn't get home until 6 or 8, and and I know some people like Marco are up at up at 4 a.m. out looking for stuff, collections and everything, but not Jeff on Monday. Monday after a show, I'm just like, I need to, because I give it everything on the Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm just like, getting everything ready to go. And I mean, even though I've done now, I don't know, 150 shows somewhere in there, it doesn't mean that it is easier, but it's still some work. But I'm not complaining. I love what I do, guys. Like, I wouldn't be doing this as much as I'm doing it if I didn't love it. So I really do love doing the shows, and we are making a little bit of adjustments to the shows, to the front and everything here soon. And anyway, yeah, it's got to do that. Got to take a break, and sometimes you don't actually. Sometimes you got to take a break to think of new ideas. And so like even this holiday thing, I just felt like I kind of woke up yesterday and said, I think the Christmas one will work. So it's that it might seem okay. I don't know. We're gonna try it. Hey Mike, even 3 cups of coffee don't. Hey man, I'm not Garfield. Anyway, Spuds and I will see you in a couple weeks. have a good evening, guys. We will see you soon, and I'll be posting from the road. Enjoy. Bye now.